Very info time for us to take the conversation a notch higher. And yes, we're looking at situation or the situation in River State as it relates to the political drama or the political happenings. And I've got a socio-political commentator. He hasn't been with me in a while. It's been, a month? And I think I missed some of those his comments, so I brought him in. But that's on the lighter note. Welcome, Marcus Ijoma. It's good to have you on the show.
Thank you very much, Carla. Good evening, Port Harcourt.
Okay. Welcome. So today we want to look at, once again, the political situation in River State. Now, from over the weekend, a lot of things happened, and basically it is it is clear now that it is a fight for the structure, the political structure of River State. I mean, it's clearer than ever. We've got according to newspapers now, we have the pro-Fubara and the pro-Wike supporters, and we've seen them right from last week, demonstrate in different capacity. For instance, last week from Monday, we saw, according to reports, pro-Fubara supporters barricade local government secretariat saying, we no go agree, your tenure has expired, go home. Several songs chanted by the supporters. And today, Monday, we've seen pro-Wike supporters, at the various secretariats saying, okay, we support Nyesom Wike, we support Nyesom Wike. And interesting situation in River State. Marcus, my first question to you, what do you make of all of this? Yeah, very first question.
Yeah, it's funny and very annoying at the same time.
Okay.
Funny because some of the people saying we no go agree. If you ask them why you no agree, they don't know.
Okay.
That they are not aware why they no agree. So they are commercial protesters.
Okay.
There's a group, I think you used to be on that show back then, Funky 4.
Okay.
You can mobilize protesters and demobilize them after the protest. So protest in this terrain is highly commercial. If not, ask me how an able-bodied man, probably above 18, who is not gainfully employed, decides that the job I will do today is that somebody from APC or PDP, simplified or wikified, will pay me XYZ amount, and then I'll leave my streets, dress up. I saw them. They caused a lot of problem for me today. I was driving towards the police headquarters, and I got towards
Moscow Road. Yeah?
Yes, I was getting close to Faga local government, and I saw that the road was blocked. I had to turn back to go and follow OGRM because where I was going to was Eastern Bypass. So we are all suffering this thing, and some people are cashing out, as it were. That is the funny part. It's about mobilization and demobilization. So those protesters, for me, they are not serious people. They are commercial. They are not fighting for any just cause.
Are you sure they're not fighting for any just cause? Because let's look at this now critically.
Yes.
Some of the people who protested last week Monday were appointed because possibly the governor saw they had capacity to move his vision forward. I mean, for instance, Dr. Darlington Oji, he was one of the people appointed as caretaker chairman, and there was Chijoke Ihunwo.
Those people you are calling are the arrowhead. They are the mobilizers.
Oh, okay.
They are the ones with the duty to mobilize the protesters. Okay. And I've told you some years back, I think towards the election period, that if you want to fill up a stadium, there's a strategy to this thing. If I say, get me 10 buses filled with young people, we will discuss the price. You tell me, per head is 5,000. We'll give them 2,000, they come. When they finish the protest, we balance. These things happen. So the people you are mentioning are the arrowhead that you always see in front of every protest. The people behind can be bought. Tomorrow they are simplified. Today they are wikified. It's about who is paying at the time. That's the funny part of it. And the painful part is that there are more serious things to protest about.
Like?
Inflation is off the roof.
Okay.
Since tanker drivers got their bridging money to bridge the gap, petrol has not returned back to 650. If you call me for that kind of protest, I will be there. Because this is about the people. We are talking about food insecurity. The prices of food commodity are off the roof. When are the market women going to say, we want the price of Gari to go down? I will be there, Kala, because this one concerns the people. No. So all of the protests going on is painful and funny at the same time. So that is where the challenge is for me. So I really don't know how we are going to balance it out.
Now, I remember before the election last year, we had conversations on air, and we talked about development and how the people would need to rise up to the occasion to be able to defeat the power that be. Yes. And of course the current crop of politicians were always going to make the people, there's a word you use, I'm trying to look for it, but it was like poverty was a tool, to be able to
weaponizing poverty.
Yeah, I think that's what you would say at the time. And Marcus, now the people seemingly are rising up to the occasion, and they are saying, see, we're tired of this style of governance. We want this other kind of governance, and that's why they're on the streets. Don't you agree with that?
It's not about the style of governance. It's about the individual players. There's a lot of sentiment at play here.
Okay.
In the case of Rivers' political issue, for instance, there are those who believe that Governor Siminalayi Fubara, is a beneficiary of the
old order.
The former Governor Wike's political structure.
Okay.
A huge beneficiary. And as such, the loyalty must be 100%. And if you know the personality of the FCT minister, it was on your news that I heard when he was swearing in a particular batch of commissioner, and he demanded 100% loyalty.
99.9% is not allowed.
Yes. So I'm sure he must have made the same demand of the governor when he was favoring him. He told us publicly that he bought forms for everybody. So he did all of this thing to guide this is highly expensive and very important political structure. So some people are saying that, look, the current governor has benefited from this structure. He must give back to the structure by submitting himself 100%. The others are saying that we cannot watch him, in other words, the FCT minister, have a third term through the back door by influencing every decision that the current governor makes. So there is this moral argument of, should he have been loyal all to the end? The other people are saying, no, he mustn't be loyal if you help somebody. I've said it before. I belong to a school of thought that says, if I use your ladder to climb, for God's sake, the building is finished. We need to remove the ladder. You understand?
Yeah, you said so one time.
Yeah, you don't leave the scaffolding on the building when you are done with it. So Governor Sim has been helped. And somebody will always help somebody. If you look at former Governor Wike's political trajectory, he was helped all along. He himself have told that story before. How he was going to be removed as local government chairman, how he ran to Dr. Peter Odili, how Odili intervened, people like Secondus and all of that, being state chairman of PDP at the time. He was helped. He was helped. So, and most of the people he helped, he was also this moral back and forth of, Wike did this. If Wike did this, then Sim should be allowed to do the same thing. And then there's the ethnic dimension. Because most of the protests we see these days, for God's sake, Governor Sim is the governor of Rivers State, not the governor of Ijos. So I don't like that ethnic dimension being given to the crisis.
All right. Let's pause now. So listening to you, are you saying either of the parties are not necessarily fighting for the people? It's
They are not. Let me take it out of your mouth. They are not fighting for the people. No side of the protest is fighting for the people.
No, I'm going beyond the protest now, because you've just described, there is the, need for 100% loyalty.
Yes.
There is the part that, and you rightly are, the part of the, those group that would say, he can't give you 100% loyalty. You've helped him climb, you're the ladder, but it's time for,
the beauty of the building to be seen.
Yeah,
so the
time for
scaffold
removal
has to
of
go.
the scaffold. Yeah.
Yes.
So now the question then is, both arguments, does the people fit in any of those?
The people do not fit in.
Why'd you say so?
Okay, now.
Because if you should remove the scaffold, it means that the beauty of governance will be seen, and the people will get to receive the dividends of democracy. But what's your argument? Let's hear it.
That is what it should be, ideally. But this crisis, the prolonged crisis, is now making it impossible for the people to benefit. Rather, the players are the ones benefiting. Because in to, like I said before, organizing a protest costs money. Those who are cashing out of protests are making money. Those who are sponsoring radio adverts and all kinds of things are making money. So, but the average Rivers person whose focus will be job creation. For instance, it aches my heart each time I turn on the radio and I'm hearing, oh, High Court said this, and this said that, and this leader said that, and this protest said that. You know why? That Rivers Economic Summit. And I was one of the people who went to that because the protest here, protester. So the investors that were supposed to come in, that's what they are hearing now. They are hearing protests. They are hearing tear gas. They are hearing songs. They are doing reels.
Calling state of emergency.
Yes, calling for state of emergency. Who is going to invest in that? So how the people come in the state of emergency? Who lives in the state of emergency? If you have a general or a retainer, and then everything the House of Assembly will spend everything. So we invest want to contract with solar generator. Okay. So who will benefit from that government?
I'm going to have to post a commercial. We'll continue from the call for a state of emergency. I'd like to know what you think about that. Let's go for a quick break. Do stay tuned. the top of the hour, Marcus and I have been gisting about the the topic. Yeah, we've been gisting about the topic of air, and it's been quite an interesting off-air conversation. Marcus, welcome back on the show. It's good to have you.
Thank you very much, Carla.
I am Kala Dakorubatu, and this is Hard Facts on 92.3 Nigeria Info. So just before the break, Marcus, we were talking about a state of emergency in Rivers State. APC led by its caretaker chairman Tony Okocha had called for a state of emergency. And you were saying investors would not troop into the state if this kind of things are what makes national headlines.
Yes.
When we talk Rivers State. But what do you make what do you make about the call for a state of emergency?
Yes, there's something called self-fulfilling prophecy.
Okay.
How that works is that, let me give you a quick analogy. So I tell Kala today, someone is going to slap you tomorrow morning if I be a man of God. And then I go behind, I pay someone who lives around Rumosi to say, you see that guy? He has dreads. Whenever he's coming out in the morning, just give him a slap. I'll give you 10K. The guy I'm sending doesn't know me. You don't know him. So he slaps you in the morning. By the time I come to this studio again and I tell you, Kala, give me your phone. If not, something will happen to you tomorrow. You are more likely to believe me.
Okay.
Because I gave a prophecy the last time.
And it happened.
But the difference is that I was the one who made the prophecy to come to pass. So how does self-fulfilling prophecy apply to this situation? I say, declare a state of emergency when I know that the condition is lawlessness. So I go behind the scene to create lawlessness.
So are you saying the people who called for a state of emergency have gone behind? Because I know we started by saying a lot of these protests are paid protests. So are you saying...
So I'm not saying anything. A few people have told you, some former chairmen, as they are referred to now, have told you before now that they have capacity for this and that. That is what I expected the police to swing on. I expected that chairmen don't have immunity.
Okay.
We didn't hear that any of them was invited for questioning by DSS or by the police.
Okay, come tell us what you mean by
Yes, what
this.
you mean by this.
Okay.
And sign an undertaking that if XYZ happens, we would hold you responsible because your comment is inciting.
Okay.
Any inciting comment, if you and I today, if we make any inciting comment in this studio, NBC is going to come for you.
Even the police and the DSS.
The police, DSS, everybody will come for you.
Yeah.
One of the reasons why to get a radio license is so difficult in Nigeria is because the president have to approve a radio license. That's how sensitive it is.
Interesting.
Because you are going to be speaking to more than 5 million people at the same time. So if you say, let's start fighting, for instance, people are going to react. They will say, I heard it on the radio. They'll say, we should start fighting. So when people are allowed to get away with inciting statements, they are giving prophecies at that point. And they go behind the scene because the whole idea of organizing this pro-protest and against protest is to get an opportunity for the protest to clash.
Okay.
That's what they're going to do.
Okay.
They will ensure that if simplified people want to protest, then the GDI people or whatever people, the new Rivers Vision people will now have their own protest.
And looking at it, that's what was going to happen until it was called off yesterday. Because
yes,
I remember...
so once this protest clash, they will leave the issue and start looting shops.
Okay.
They will leave the issue and start burning cars.
Okay.
And then the police will now say, the governor's first reaction will probably be declaring a curfew. We are getting there gradually. If he's not careful, he's going to fall for that trick. So it's about self-fulfilling prophecy. So you're telling me, call for a state of emergency. They are telling you that this is our plan. It's not about what is happening now. What is happening now does not warrant a state of emergency, but it's a possibility. If we continue, if we don't manage what is going on properly, I believe that for now, if you ask me, everybody who said they are in support of the governor should stand down with every protest and allow those who are against him to continue with their protest if they don't want the state of emergency, because these are things, politicians are very funny people. Like they used to tell you, they have capacity to cause problem. They have money, free money. It's not me that is hustling how I will make 10,000 or 20,000 today that will go and sponsor violence. Where do they get the money to sponsor? Violence is expensive. You need to pay somebody who doesn't have value for his life to go and destroy.
And life is very valuable.
Life, some people's life is not valuable. It's not.
No, I mean, every life is valuable.
No, that's for you who is morally upright. For the guys who are valuable for hire, they don't care. Once they smoke whatever they are smoking, they are not seeing you as a normal human being. Men becomes like trees, and then they begin to unleash mayhem. and they don't care how many people died. Each of these protests, when the protest started at this local government secretary, 1 or 2 people died. I can't remember their name. That's how insignificant they have become. The people that died in those local governments, we don't remember their name. We are not going to carry candlelight next year and say, oh, for the sake of the martyrs that died in Ikwere local government, oh, those who died in Omoma and those who died in Obigbo, let's just eulogize them for one. Nobody's going to, because they are part of the masses. And the masses who are suffering are allowing themselves to be hired and used by people who are in air-conditioned cars and tinted glasses, calling for state of emergency that has no meaning. How is it going to help my business?
Now you've dragged the people into this once again. But I mean, looking at the state of the economy, looking at the way politics has been played in Rivers State from 1999, don't you think the people are exasperated and they're saying, you know what, we've had enough, we want to come out? And then, there's still those few who are still, getting bits and pieces, from the political class. We're going to see, because maybe that's what's causing...
The people that cause the problem are always in the minority. They're not in the majority. The bad people. The problem of... Which local government are we? This is Ikwere, right?
No, this is Obiakpo.
Obiakpo. The people that cause problem in Obiakpo local government, they are not up to 10% of the population of Obiakpo. The people that cause problem in Rivers State, they are not up to 10% of the population of Rivers State. Where are the 90 people? The 90%. They don't care. They are so poor, they are only interested in what they can eat now. So the people have a role to play. And it's from this pool of people who only care about what they are going to eat that they are pulling out to be killing in the name of protests, in the name of riots, in the name of political this and political that. If we are civilized people and these matters are all in court, for God's sake, what is difficult in maintaining status quo? What is difficult in waiting for the judiciary to decide?
Could it also be that the judiciary has confused everybody?
When
you say maintain status quo,
whatever it was before the judgment, maintain it.
But you see,
yes, that's my understanding.
That's my understanding as well. But you would hear pro Fubara, for instance. Allow me to use it because that's what we see everywhere now. You see pro Fubara, for instance, come and say, maintain status quo.
The status quo before the law was made.
And then that one will come and say it was before
after the law was made. So I get that point.
So it's the way it is.
The judiciary has a very big role in all of this, and that is because a few elements in the judiciary are very corrupt, thereby soiling the names of the other notable judges, lawyers, and what have you. However, as for lawyers, they must make their gain. I don't blame any lawyer for defending anybody. My problem majorly has to do with the judges. So the judges need to put their foot down. We need to have more incorruptible judges.
But could this also be the reason why a lot of people are restless and impatient and cannot wait, for the court to do what they're supposed to do?
They have to wait. We are not animals. We are in a civilized society. Waiting is part of the... Do you know how many people are waiting trial in Port Harcourt prison? Have they protested? Have their families carried placards and to say, you adjourned this our case for 6 months? Why are you adjourning for 6 months? Has the parents of the innocent people, most of the innocent people in the prisons are waiting trial, have they come out to protest?
Interesting.
Why is the judgment being delayed? So if people have been in a waiting trial for 3 years, 4 years, they are not protesting. You that your own is a political case, and in Nigeria we give political cases very fast track judgment,
yeah, sure.
And that's because they hire senior advocates who will then get priority in the courts, for matters to quickly be decided for them, while the ones that concern the people is usually delayed. Try and take a landed case to Nigerian court and see. Before they hear the grammars, they will speak for you. They speak Latin, they speak Greek, and then when they are done confusing you, the lawyer will collect another fee for appearing again. Like I said, I don't have a problem with lawyers. I have a problem with judges. They need to quickly do away with some of these cases, because if you make a mistake at the High Court, don't worry, they will go to appeal. Go ahead and make the mistake. You are not infallible. By the time it gets to the Supreme Court in less than 1 week, we are done. Even if the Supreme Court also makes a mistake, to God be the glory. That it becomes a status, it becomes law. And then we move from there. Whoever loses, we were taught back then in school that the Supreme Court is the final authority. If you can't win from the Supreme Court, you leave it to God. You appeal to God. It's only God that can intervene after Supreme Court. Right. So what is difficult in determining a case at an appeal? What's so difficult? It's supposed to be a high priority for the peace of this state. It's supposed to be a high priority case.
All right, let's go to the phone lines now. But before I do, there's a question I've been saving for last, what would you then advise the people to do? Because, you've said only 10% of the people in Rivers State, or even less, make the trouble that we get to say is political, or is the political crisis in Rivers State, right? Only 10% of the people in Rivers State. What then can the people do?
Yeah, see, from the very beginning, we started talking about this case some months ago, or this issue some months ago. I told you that the people should buy popcorn. It's a movie.
But really, should they really buy popcorn and
why I said they should buy
taxpayers' money have been used?
I get you. But if you don't see, the people have a role to play. The media has a role to play.
Okay.
The media, as far as I'm concerned, should turn a blind eye. Pretend like it doesn't happen. But you see, sometimes your ethics as a journalist or as a media house begins to play out. You need to give priority to something, to burning issues, important issues involving important people. So one of the determinants for news is status. So the status of the player must make sure that it makes a headline, right? But if I was an editor, or if I am an editor of a news media, I will not feature any of these stories on my headline. I'm not joking. Because I have a moral duty to, in spite of the fact that my profession places a responsibility on me to carry important things, things that are of public importance. It doesn't mean that I will have to fill my content with them, so that these politicians will know that they are not as popular. The media makes them. If the media turns a blind eye, if the guild of editors come together and say, you know what, for the next 2 weeks, stand down and any story on Rivers crisis. This issue will go down. People will not even know that they are fighting in Omok.
But it means a lot of illegalities would
leave the police to face the illegality. The police have their own radio station in Abuja. They have PPRO. They can tidy that up. If they call for a press conference, ignore them, so that we can have some peace. So that people, because all of these things that are going on, it's happening in a lot of other places, but because of strong media cooperation and censorship, as the case may be, you don't hear a lot of these things. So the people at this point is to ignore the politicians. That's what I mean by buy popcorn. Ignore them. Face your Rumokoro market. Face your Obigbo market. What you mean? Everybody do your business. Forget about. But when you are less busy, then you can easily be hired for a protest. But for me to crack my brain, for God's sake, the man was elected to govern Rivers State. He was given brand new jeeps. He's living in a free accommodation. He has advisors. As I speak to you, the government's house kitchen is bigger than your two radio stations put together. Right. He's eating from there. Let him do his job and stop complaining.
All right. Federal might. I know I said last question, but federal might seemingly is at play.
Until we see the might. For now, it's an allegation.
The governor said it over the weekend. Was it on Friday or Saturday?
That they don't have anybody in Abuja.
No, that's something about. We know we have another government from Abuja. He said something like that.
It's normal in Nigeria. That's why I'm saying that Governor Sim need to get his act together politically. If Abuja is not far, he has a jet again to his name as governor of Rivers State. He should go to Abuja and get those people too, because Abuja is still Nigeria now. If they have federal might, who stops you from going to White House? You to go and look for your own might, because you are giving credence to these people. You are making them look bigger than they are. If they are in Abuja, two things you can do is either you increase your own influence in Abuja, or you ignore Abuja.
Okay.
For God's sake, Rivers is an independent state. It's a federating state in Nigeria. You don't need to beg the president to send you allocation. He will send you what is due at the end of the month when FAC distributes funds. If you like, don't even call the president. If you don't pick his call, he has a duty to send you that allocation. And that's all you need from him. So all of this, the renew hope of Abuja, you are renewing Abuja hope, and then something you are being hopeless in Rivers State. It doesn't make any sense.
All right then. All right. Let's quickly go to the phone lines now for real. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003, and 0817-923-0007. The question I am asking on the show this afternoon is, how does all of these things happening impact Rivers residents? How does it benefit you? How does it benefit your neighbor, your family, your colleagues, and even me? How does it benefit me? That's what we're looking at. Is any of the political players, any of them, fighting for you, fighting for me? Is this all about you and I, or, like it is becoming clearer and clearer every day. It is about political structure. 0817-923-0002, 0817-923-0003. And this one says, Ernest from Oji, River State is not a productive state. Without our oil, we are absolutely nothing. These days, everybody's an ambassador or a general. If you have the means to mobilize unemployed youths for protest, people will start shouting capacity.
Correct, very correct.
Lagos is the third largest economy in Africa because after election, opposition politicians go back to their different businesses. But here, the richest men are those who are in politics. Not exactly, but yeah, I get your point. This one says the governor has every right to appoint whosoever he wishes to appoint into council. Let the former chairman leave governor alone so he can concentrate. All right. Thank you, Ida from Inkoro, if that's what you got from the conversation. This one says, if I remember clearly, I don't see the correlation between the pending appeal court's judgment with the illegal tenure extension of the former LGA chairman. I thought the case is about the tussle of legitimacy between the Oko Jumbo and Martin Ameole led House of Assembly and the other members who defected to APC. What then exactly is the interest of these former chairmen in the case? Or am I missing something? Olivia from Port Harcourt. But I keep saying every day that they say that they have appealed that judgment. I'm not a legal professional. I'm going to leave it for the legal professionals to do. I'm going to go to Daniel, who's calling from Imogate. Daniel, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear.
Good afternoon, my brother Kalada.
I greet you.
Yes, Chinke Daniel Imogate was back.
All right, welcome, Chinke Daniel.
Yes, I want to commend your guest on what he's saying. But to answer your question straight, there is nothing any common man in River State, I am calling you from Abia, there's nothing any common man in River State will gain when there is crisis. But where I disagree a little from what your guest is saying, that the media should be silent or should not be promoting all this. One thing we should all know is that there is what you people call, is it letters or whatever? I don't know how you people put it. Yes, people want to get information. Yes. So in all these things, there should not be crisis in River State, because those that are yearning for emergency rules, if there is crisis, they have achieved their aim. So the better, they should not do anything that will bring that their aim to come to pass in River State. I am an Adian, very close to rivers. Crisis in River State, Port Harcourt, it will affect me here.
All right.
You may not believe it.
All right, Daniel.
Because I know what it is when Rivers is in crisis.
All right, Daniel. Daniel, thank you very much. I've got Obed from Port Harcourt. Obed, welcome. What is on your mind? I'd like to hear from you.
Kalada, good evening.
Yeah, welcome. Let's get your thoughts quickly.
Greeting to your guest in the studio.
All right, then.
Kalada, I think your guest said one thing that actually struck me about the majority of the people leaving few players to continue to have their way while they mind their business and drink pure water and continue. Look, problem we have in this very state and even Nigeria at large, because I believe River State is a microcosm of what Nigeria represents. You understand? So I tell you, the folding of hands of majority who are out there allowing this few finitesimal number that is not up to 0% of the population continue to hoodwink and have their way is the cause of the problem we are having today. Until this majority stand up to be able to say what is right and stand for what is right, then we'll have a better River State and better Nigeria. He talks about judges also. I think the judges have a major role to play here, because when you come up with judgment that is so contradictory and you cause more problems. But I want to ask one question. The question, the matter pending before Court of Appeal, we are expecting judgment. Is it truly about the elongation of tenure of local government.
Oh my!
Because believe
They are Obed. They are two different court of appeal. I'm tired of repeating myself. I am tired of repeating. It's becoming mentally challenging. Two different court of appeal judgments.
yes,
According to my understanding, I might be wrong as well.
yes, that's what I believe. Because I believe there was a time a court gave judgment that the amendment of the elongation of tenure of local government was illegal. You understand?
Yes.
So I don't know why this former local government chairman, will come out on the street to protest and doing all that to create problem in the state and all that.
All right.
So what is it? What is all this protest meant for?
right.
What is it all about?
I've got to go.
Honestly.
Obed, I've got to go. Thank you very much. This one says, your guest in the studio is perfectly correct with his speeches, and police intelligence is not swift enough to sense out anything. It is unfortunate, Mr. Bright from Port Harcourt. All right. I mean, for NSA, I see no issues of any political crisis in Rivers State. Former governor should caution himself that he is no more in charge. Governor February 7, Rivers State, and not Nyesom Wike. That's the reality. Your thoughts as we wrap things up. First of all, do you agree with Obed? You know, he is saying that, you know, the problem in Nigeria is that the majority have folded hands,
Yes.
they stood in akimbo.
Let me tell you something.
Okay.
Let's assume that now that they are talking about tenure elongation for local government, you are simplified, you are not simplified, you are wikified, you are not wikified. Just imagine that we have another march of about 500,000 people on the streets of Port Harcourt protesting the irregularity in the price of petrol. Who is going to talk about local government?
Interesting.
Just
or food prices.
Or food prices. Just imagine if the remaining 90% of us say our farmers are not able to farm because of insecurity in the bushes. Who is a local government chairman that, whether for or against, that will now be doing? There'll be nobody left for him to hire. But unfortunately, the rest of us are still struggling. Let me just be able to eat. Let me just be able to eat. So we don't care. So we now have left the whole thing for a few people. So let everybody just stand down. Just allow this thing, allow peace to reign. See, I'm not from Rivers State, but I've lived here for God knows, for more than a decade. So I can technically tell you, if I want to claim English I can.
You're my brother. You're a Riverite person. I welcome you.
Am I Upland or Riverite?
I would not say that.
Where is Woji? What is Upland? Yes,
Upland.
I think I'm Upland.
Up Riverite.
So basically, I want to, my final word would just be to appeal to players. You tune to any of the television stations.
Seriously, national, yeah.
You come locally to all of the radio stations in and around Rivers State. They are talking. Imagine if I just visited Rivers State and I'm lying down in my hotel thinking I just need to find somewhere to buy bole. And all I'm hearing is that don't go here, or they are protesting here. Don't go here. You will leave.
I've got to go.
Oh my God.
Thank you, Marcus Ijema. It's
much.
been a wonderful time chatting with you on radio.
Thank you.
All right, just stay tuned. More conversations coming your way.